Hi guys, it's Romina. Welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I'm gonna show you how to stamp with chrome powders. So I prepared all these swatches for you and I tried a different technique in each one of them and different colors. So normally the chrome powders are used in gel polish, but these are all regular polishes. So I hope you like this video. If you do, please leave it a thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, and let's get started. In this video, I'm gonna use the two only chrome powders that I have. The first one is from WhatsApp Nails. This is the Fuchsia Chrome powder. It comes in this 1.5 gram container and you're only gonna need a small amount. And the other one is Twinkle Tea Trapeze, super beautiful between purple, blue, and a little bit of green. I'll be using an eyeshadow applicator, also a makeup brush. This is super cheap. I got it in the pharmacy and I'm gonna show you later how to use it. I'm also gonna need a stamper. Make sure that you use one that is old or that you don't care much about it because it's gonna get cloudy with the powders with time. I'm also gonna need a clear stamper. This is not to put the powder on, but it's for another technique that I'm gonna show you later. So first, it's super important that we start with a matte base color before doing the stamping, because that way the powder is going to stick only to the wet part of the polish and not to your base. So the first option is going to be the traditional one. Maybe you've seen this technique before, where you put the eyeshadow applicator on the container and you just rub the amount of powder that you have onto your stamper. Then remember to close the lid, because if you hit it, you're going to make a mess. So then you're going to choose the plate that you're going to work with, and I'm going to choose this fairy here, and I'm going to use Maniology stamping polish straight up black, and I'm going to stamp the same way I always do. If you're new to stamping, I will link the video here how to stamp. So we're going to have something like this. And for transferring the design, it's better if you place your nail on top of your stamper, because you're not going to be able to see through the stamper. So this way you can align your nail with the design. And here's the final result. I think it looks super beautiful and the black really makes the color pop. Then you have to clean your stamper to use it again. So what I do is use a lint roller until my stamper is completely clean without any residue. Now for the second option, I'm gonna do the same process, but I'm gonna use white stamping polish, and we're gonna see if there's any difference in the stamping. So here I'm using the same technique. I had the powder already on my stamper, and I'm gonna transfer the design on my black nail polish, same as in the previous option. And here's the result. It looks a little bit lighter than the previous one. Here's the comparison. Here's with white and here's with black. The black just makes the color more intense in the chrome powders, but you can use white or you can use another stamping polish that you have. It's not a problem, but the color could change. Now for the third option, we're gonna see if we get the same results with a white base. So I did the same thing. I have the powder on my stamper, I used the black stamping polish, and I have a matte white base on my nail. So here's the result, and it looks super beautiful. In this one, the contrast is a little bit higher because the white base really makes the color pop, but it looks absolutely beautiful. Now for the option 4, we're gonna do something a little bit different. We're gonna use both stampers in this case. So I'm just gonna put some powder in my stamper, and I'm gonna choose my plate. I'm gonna choose this hearts here, and I'm gonna be doing the same technique that I always do for stamping with the clear stamper. I really like this technique because you can place the design where you want. I really wanted for these hearts to be in the middle of the nail, so the clear stamper allowed me to see through it and put the design first, and then with the other one I just press it on top of that, and all the powder is gonna get stick to the hearts that are wet polish, and you can use a makeup brush just to clean up the excess. So this is the result. It looks absolutely stunning. This is one of my favorites. For the next option, I'm gonna do a white base, and I'm gonna be applying the powder with a different technique. So first I'm gonna choose my design here from the stamping plate, and I'm gonna stamp as I normally do with the clear stamper first, so this way I can see what I'm doing, and I'm gonna place it on top of my nail. Then I'm gonna just take a small amount of the powder with this brush, and I'm just gonna place it on top of the design. This is a little bit messier than the other techniques, so I recommend you put the container underneath your nail nail so all the excess of powder can fall into that and you don't lose product. I just forgot to do that this time, so I had to clean my silicone mat after, and here I'm just removing all the excess with the brush, and with a lint roller I'm just gonna clean what's left on the mat. Here's the final result. You can see how this powder shifts between purple, green, blue, super beautiful color, and it only sticks to the part that you have wet polish. Now we're gonna see if we get the same results using a shiny finish on our nail. So here I'm applying a fast dry top coat on top of 2 coats of this white polish. If you don't have a matte top coat, you can use it this way, but it has to be dry when you do it. So I have the powder on my stamper and I'm gonna stamp the design on my nail, and you're gonna see something like this powder everywhere, so you have to use your brush just to take off the excess from your nail, and it's not gonna get stick to that because the fast dry top coat is already dry. So make sure that it's completely dry, otherwise you're gonna have powder stick to all over your nail, and unfortunately you will have to do it all over again because it's impossible to take off the powder that got in the sticky layer with your makeup brush, so you have to redo it. So here's the result. It looks super pretty. Now for the next option, I'm gonna be stamping only with the powder. So I'm gonna apply 1 coat of the Orly Bonder or sticky base coat on top of my black nail, and I'm gonna put directly the powders on the stamping plate. So here I'm choosing the pink for the upper half of the design, and I'm gonna put the other one, the blue or purple one, on the lower half of the design. Then I'm gonna scrape out the excess and I'm gonna stamp it with my stamper here, and I'm gonna place it on top of my nail. So this effect is not gonna be as intense as the previous one because it doesn't have a stamping polish underneath to make the colors pop more, but the result is absolutely beautiful, and it's a great way to use it if you don't have polish to do stamping, or if you can't make it work, maybe you can try this idea. Now for the next option, I'm gonna use a pink base on my nail, and I'm gonna use both powders in my stamper, so I'm gonna mix them together. You can mix them however you want, and then I'm gonna stamp as I normally do with a black stamping polish, and you're gonna see something like this where part of the design is gonna be pink and part of the design is gonna be of the other color. And here I'm just pressing my nail onto the design. It didn't transfer very well because I didn't apply enough pressure on this nail, but you get the idea. Then I'm gonna brush off the excess of powder that got on my nail, and here's the final result. You can see how the color shifts, and it's a great way to combine both. For our next option, I'm gonna use a green base, and I'm gonna use both crumbs, but I'm gonna test it with regular nail polish to stamp. So if you follow my videos, you know that I often do stamping with regular nail polishes and it's not really a problem. So here I'm just testing if this works with the stamper. I don't like very much this stamper because it's kind of too firm for me, but we're gonna test it with both crumbs on the stamper, and this is the result. It looks super beautiful. It did stamp well. You have to work fast because this polish is gonna dry out faster than the other ones, so maybe you're not gonna be able to transfer the design. Now we're gonna try to use a black base and doing a crumb over crumb. So here I'm applying the chrome powder directly on my nail. This is how often people use these powders without any stamping. So I only have 2 coats of this black nail polish without any top coat or any other layer on top. And I'm just rubbing it with my finger so you can see that the whole nail gets covered with the powder and it gets this beautiful effect. So now I'm gonna choose my stamping plate and I'm gonna apply the other powder to my stamper, and I'll be doing the same process all over again, just stamping as I normally do. In this case it will be with this other color, and I'm gonna transfer it to my nail. So it depends on what base you have on your nail, the colors may change. So this one looks more blue than the other swatches that we've done with this powder, so it looks a little bit different but super beautiful and shiny. Now if you don't have chrome powders, we're gonna test it with eyeshadow. So this is the only eyeshadow palette that I have because I don't use much makeup. So we're gonna try with this color. This is very light in comparison with the other ones. It's kind of a gold, but I'm sure you're gonna have beautiful eyeshadows to use. So we're gonna have the same design that we did in the first nails, and we're gonna transfer it to the black base. So here's the result. I think it still looks good, but not as good as the other ones. I just think that the powder looks a little bit dull and not super shiny, but it's an option if you don't have any of the products. And here we have all the swatches we've done, but we can't leave them like this because the powder is not protected. So every time you use it, you have to cover it with a water-based top coat. In this case, I'm using the Smudge Free, but you can also use a base coat that is water-based because that's the only way that the powder is gonna last a few more days. Just remember that these powders are intended to be used with gels, so that's why they can last so much. What I do is to apply another fast dry top coat on top of the other one just to make them secure, but every time that you get in contact with water, you can have water filter to your nail and the powder is gonna crack. So you have to be careful, but also considering that this is gonna last just a few days. Here are all the pictures for the swatches that we did today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave it a thumbs up. Let me know what you think of the technique in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!